Ain't no intro, man. We just getting straight into it. Top of the morning. Spur of the moment, spontaneous game, you dig? But let me see if I want to see how my mic sound. My setup is a little janky, man. Y'all got to excuse my pimping. But let me see. Let me see how my sound is real quick. I would ask y'all how I sound, but I be getting mixed opinions about the audio. Some of y'all will say it's cool. Some of y'all will say it's too low. But then when I go back and replay it, it'd be too loud. So let me just check my audio real quick. Hold on. Make sure I'm good. I don't really care for the headphones while I'm live. I don't really got to hear myself. I'm gonna be tripping on that. Let me see something. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Damn, I can't even hear myself in these headphones. Why not? Why can't I not hear myself? I guess I'll ask y'all anyway though. How do I sound? Y'all let me know, man. Y'all know normally I'll schedule the live so that y'all get notifications. But whoever comes. If you see that I'm live, welcome. I appreciate y'all, man. It's my first live in 2026 from the United States, man. For real, It's a first. It's a lot of first everythings for this year for me right now. We're gonna talk about it though. Hold on, I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can hear myself. I don't think there is. I don't think it is, man, but it's all good. Fuck it. Okay, y'all saying I'm low. How about now? And mind you, I know, I'm moving around. I'm doing this and all this shit. So, of course, I'm going to sound low when I'm moving around. But when my mouth is next to the mic like it is right now, how do I sound right now? Somebody let me know something. I just turned it up a little bit to see if y'all can hear me better right now. I know Sepulveda Prince said I was low. Top of the AM Pimp. Laissez Fair. Okay, you say I sound cool now. Good looking, Prince. Good looking. And before we go any further, Worldwide Chris, good looking with the $2 holla. Early morning game, top of it, freeze. Long live Simple to P. Yes, indeed, man. Y'all already know my first order of business, man. I got to hydrate my game, man. So let me do that. Like I said, excuse the janky setup. I'm on the move right now, so my setup ain't the usual ideal setup, you dig? We gonna make it work. Cheers to the game. Okay, Leroy say I'm good. Appreciate you, man. Top of the morning to everybody. Yeah, man. So like I said, it's my first live from the United States in 2026. Pimp been moving around. This is also my first time putting on a suit this year. I can't even remember the last time, aside from jail or prison, that I've gone this long without wearing a suit. My first time putting a suit on this year. Yesterday, which because it's Saturday morning right now, so Friday, yesterday, It was my first time driving a car in almost a year. It was my first time touching some American money in almost a year. That was a trip. What else? First time driving a car, first time touching some American money, first time putting on a suit. Uh, and this is my first live. So yeah, a lot of firsts this year, man. Even though the year is more than halfway over with at this point, for me, you know, it's a lot of firsts this year, man. And it's a trip. It kind of feel good, you know. Now I love driving. You know, some people don't like to drive. I love driving. I love taking cross country trips, especially by myself. It's cool when you take a cross country trip with your lady or your game or even your partners. You know, I done did it all. I done went cross country with my pimp partners. I done went cross country with my ladies. You know, I done went cross country by myself. I done did all of that plenty of times. And I just love driving. Uh, you know, it's cool when you got somebody cool to ride with, but I ain't gonna say I like it more, but I really appreciate the times when I be on the highway by myself. But whatever the case, I love driving. But at the same time that I love driving, I must say that it was kind of a relief to not have to drive this whole time that I've been out the country. Because, you know, in Colombia, for those of y'all who ain't ever been down there and ain't familiar, when you go to Colombia, it really don't make sense to like get a rental car, or even if I was living down there, like if that was my permanent residence, I wouldn't even want a car in Colombia because Ubers is so cheap, and that's another thing too that a lot of people don't know. You know, Colombia cars are like if you buying a new car there, like everything is cheap down there. Food is cheap, clothes is cheap. Well, I ain't gonna say everything. A lot of shit is cheap. You know, cost of living is, you know, super low. But things that get imported to Colombia are expensive as fuck. Cars being one of the most expensive things that you can buy down there that get imported down there. You know, if you like put it like this, if you buy a brand new Toyota or a brand new Benz or shit, probably even a brand new Chevy, it's gonna be more expensive down there than it would be to buy it here. Any of them cars. Then they got brands of cars down there that I've only seen down there. I ain't never even heard of until I went down there, right? Now those cars, I don't know if they domestic car. I don't know if Colombia got domestic cars. I still only don't even know that. But cars expensive as hell. So my point is, Ubers is so damn cheap down there. It don't even make sense to get a car down there. You know. Now, if you living down there permanently, I could see maybe if you got, or if you just like to travel around the country and you want to drive, I can understand that. I believe having a motorcycle down there makes more sense than having a car for a lot of people. You know, especially if you don't have like a big family, if it's just you or you and your, you know, your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever you with. I can understand having a motorcycle or scooter or some shit like that. But um, but yeah, I can't. I must say, you know, this is the longest that I've went without driving. I can't remember a time where I went this long without driving. Like I said, aside from being locked up, and it was kind of a relief. You dig? So yeah, man. One thing that tripped me out coming back to the United States, it was like kind of a culture shock. Even though I'm from here all my life, you know, I've been gone for a minute, and I've been around people that speak nothing but Spanish for so long. It was kind of a trip getting back to the States and everybody speaking English again. That kind of like fucked me up for like first few days, you know, just being around everywhere I go, in the store, restaurants, airport, you know, Uber, you know, just everywhere I go, everybody speaking English again. It was kind of a trip. You know, I done got used to everywhere I go, they speaking nothing but Spanish, you know, and I appreciate that because that put me in a position where I had no choice but to get better with my Spanish, which I've gotten a whole lot better. I ain't nearly where I want to be. I want to be so fluent that I sound like I'm a Colombian or a Mexican or a Costa Rican or Peruvian or Panamanian. I want to sound like one of them when I speak Spanish. You dig? I ain't nowhere close to that yet, but my Spanish done got a whole lot better. And sometimes I'll be having to give myself credit because, I kind of underestimate my Spanish capabilities. But whenever I have to use it, I'm pretty good with it. So yeah, my Spanish is it's come a long way. I'll say that. You dig? But yeah, man. Once again, cheers to the game. And I was chopping it up with my young partners just a couple hours ago, talking about, this lifestyle that we live and whatnot. And we got to talking about the topic of liking who likes you. Right now, in the game, us gentlemen are known to say, like who likes you. That's a common cliche in the game. Like who likes you. And the theory behind that statement is basically, like the ones who like you, because the ones who like you, they gon' more than likely do what you want them to do. They more than likely gonna fall in line. They gonna put forth whatever effort is necessary to be with you and get in line with you, so on and so forth, right? And to go further with that, the reason why P say like who likes you, because, if you go after the ones that you like, you gonna run into a lot of problems, right? That's the thought process behind that, right? But see, this is the thing, and that's just one of a lot of cliches in the game that people say that might not necessarily be fitting for today's times. See, in today's times, if you say, if you run with the theory of, or the thought process of like who likes you, you can run into a lot of problems. See, it was more suitable for a different time to think like that, like who likes you, because the world wasn't so crazy in the way that it's crazy now. World always been crazy, but it's crazy in it's a different type of crazy going on now than it was back in the day. And with the way things are now, you setting yourself up for a lot of potential ways that things can go wrong, liking who likes you. See, before that like who likes you thing, it made more sense because the chicks that's active in the game back in the days, they thought process was so different. Their interests were different. Their influences were different. The way they saw things, their perspectives, everything was different because the world was different. And it's not just that the game was different. The world was different at that time. So the things that chicks in the game was interested in, the types of guys that they was interested in, types of conversations that they had, so on and so forth, because of the way things were at that time in those regards, it made more sense to say some shit like that, like who likes you, right? But in today's times, first of all, you got to understand that there's so many different types of chicks in the game. And within these so many different types of chicks in the game, they're in the game for so many different reasons. And a lot of the reasons that chicks are in the game right now don't align with the traditional fundamental values and principles of the game. The reasons why people should be in the game. A lot of chicks is in the game for a lot of the wrong reasons. A lot of chicks is in the game because, as I said before many times, and I'll say it again, A lot of chicks that's in the game right now is what I call the square world's rejects. They're rejects of the square world. They can't cut it in the square world. They probably should be going to school, but they're not cut out to be students. You know, if they go to school, they probably ain't gonna even a 6 month trade school. A trade school that takes 6 months to get certified in whatever trade. A lot of these chicks that's in the game right now, if they were to endeavor to do that, they wouldn't make it. They just not cut out to start something and finish it, right? Especially something that's structured and has a system in place that they have to fall into and abide by that system a certain way in order to make it through the process. A lot of chicks ain't cut out for that. So they can't be students. They can't go to school. And for those same reasons that they can't do that, a lot of them can't get a job. Even a regular job that, you know, ain't hard to get, you know, or doesn't require any kind of like certifications or you know, stuff like that. A lot of chicks they can't cut it in them areas either, because a lot of these chicks are the type that, you know, before they got in the game, if they did have a job, they was the type that was gonna show up late or not show up at all and get fired. You know, before I was aware, like I ended up becoming aware, I used to accept chicks like that before they got in the game, they done had like 50 fast food jobs. Not literally, but they done worked at every fast food restaurant in their town. Bitch be like, yeah, I done worked at Wendy's. I done worked at McDonald's. I done worked at Burger King. I done worked at Subway. I done worked at Wingstop. I done worked at Jimmy John's. It's like they done, like, damn, bitch, what fast food restaurant have you not worked at? Or they done worked at every grocery store in a town. And, you know, it was a time where I didn't really think as much of that as I should. But that tells you a lot about a bitch, though. First of all, I'll tell you that she's, you know, unstable in a lot of ways. Because these jobs ain't really hard to, not only not hard to acquire, because obviously you have no problem getting these jobs, but they're not hard to maintain if you want to maintain them. But the fact that you can't maintain these jobs for very long, and it be chicks this young, be chicks is like 21, 22, 23 years old, but they don't work like 20 different jobs. And you ain't even been old enough to work for that long, some, you know, a few years or something. And within a few years that you've been eligible to work, you done have 20 different jobs. That's crazy. But again, a lot of chicks can't cut it in that world, you know, and they parents is going, or their grandparents or auntie, whoever they grew up with, or whoever raised them, you know, they ain't gonna be able to just stay there forever, and they ain't pulling their own weight as an adult. So meanwhile, the game takes all comers. Whoever want to get in the game can get in the game. You know, there's no certification that you have to meet, no standard that you have to meet in order to get into the game. You can jump in at whatever level makes sense for you, or whatever level you capable of, or whatever level don't make sense for you. Whatever level you just so happen to fall into, you know, it's every level of the game. It's people in the game that's homeless, and it's people in the game that's balling, and all in between. It's a whole spectrum of people in the game. And, you know, a lot of chicks, like I said, who are the square world's rejects, they could just get into the game and see the game. The game allows you to be lazy. The game allows you to be trifling. The game allows you to be selfish. The game allows you to be irresponsible. And the list just goes on and on and on. Like things that you can't be even at McDonald's or Walmart or Smoothie King or Hot Dog on a Stick. Like things that you can't even be at those jobs. And these aren't even high paying jobs. These are jobs that really are most suitable for a high school student or maybe even a college student. Even with those kinds of jobs, you can't just be any kind of way. If you're irresponsible, you're going to end up losing that job. If you're lazy, you're going to end up losing that job. If you like an underhanded type of person, try to sneak around and do shit that you're not supposed to be doing, like trying to sneak and drink on the job or sneak and get high on the job, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to maintain that job for very long. But you can come into the game and be in the game in that kind of way for as long as you want to or as long as you can handle it. So I say all of that to say this will just give you an idea of the many different types of females that are in the game right now and the many different reasons why chicks get into the game right now. It's not as common, even though a lot of people talk like that. It's not as common in the game now for, chicks to get, like, really, so to speak, be in it to win it. It's not a lot of chicks in the game that's really in it to win it. They might talk like that, but they don't want to be responsible for that result. They'll take it if it falls in their lap. If they just so happen to win, so to speak, without having to put forth so much effort, they'll take it. But if they have to be responsible for the win, if they have to be responsible for the victory, a lot of them ain't gonna do that. And what I want you to understand too, right? I'm not shitting on the ladies that's in the game right now. I'm just calling it what it is, right? I don't want you to think that by me saying what I'm saying that means I'm shitting on them. I know everybody's sensitive nowadays. And if you challenge something or if you critique something, you automatically classified as a hater. But that's not what I'm doing right now. There's a reason why, or as many reasons why, ladies are the way that they are right now. And this isn't specific to just chicks in the game. This just young chicks, period. Because like I said, the world is a lot different now. The way that the world is now. See, what a lot of chicks don't understand, and if they understood this about the way that the world is right now, they would probably be inclined to challenge the way things are in a way that it would make them better individuals. It would make them better people. If they understood the way the world is designed right now, or at least America, if they understood the way America is designed right now and the way it's set up and the way it's programmed for people to be, if they understood that, they'd probably be a little more inclined to challenge it and be better than what is set up for them to be. So American society is set up for you to be depressed. It's set up for you to be confused. It's set up for you to be uninitiated, like stagnated, like not being productive, not moving the way that you're supposed to move. It's set up for you to be I guess you could say a victim, or be comfortable in anywhere from comfortable to proud of being a victim. This is just a few examples of the way American society is. It prompts people to be, especially young people. Young people, it prompts you to be, like I said, depressed, unproductive, confused, addicted to all the wrong things. This is what you're born into. If you're a young adult right now, this is this is the cards that you was dealt. This is the hand you was dealt. The hand that you was dealt is set up for you to be those things, right? It's not set up for you to be highly productive. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that you can't be this way. I'm just saying the way that the world, the American society is prompting you to be. American society is not prompting you to be highly productive. It's not prompting you to have a high self-esteem. It's not prompting you to feel good about your life. It's not prompting you to be useful, not just to yourself, but to others. It's not prompting you to have love for others and appreciate others. It is prompting you to have conflict with everybody in every kind of way, from personal relationships to politics to business and everything. You know, everything is just set up for conflict, for you to have conflict every which way you turn. It's not set up for you to be harmonious with people and productive with people, right? And like I said, if more young ladies understood how things are designed for them to be, they might be inclined to challenge that a little bit and you know, be a little better. Speaking of challenges, is, you know, American society is set up for you to be discouraged in the face of challenges, because you know, you don't see this. What you got to understand about chicks in the game, like now, young chicks, not all of them, but the majority of them, because the cards they was dealt, right? You know, people be thinking that like chicks is just lazy and this, that, and the third, but you just got to understand the way shit is right now. You know, when it comes to challenges, the way that the world is set up right now, you're not even wired to accept challenges and, you know, go head first into a challenge and, you know, rise above the challenge. The world ain't set up for you to understand that and deal with it accordingly. It's set up for you to cower in the face of a challenge, right? And a big part of the reason for that is because there's too many things that are done for you nowadays that you should have to do yourself. Like thinking. There's a lot of shit in life that you should have to think about yourself that you don't have to think about anymore. Because you got all these AI apps. You got Chat GPT and Gemini and Claude and so many different things that give you so many answers to so much shit. And a lot of things you should have to figure out for yourself, you no longer have to figure it out for yourself. And a lot of people are not inclined to put themselves in a position where they have to figure things out for themselves, because you don't have to, and you've never had to. A lot of young people, you've never had certain challenges. You've never had to do certain things for yourself that us as human beings should always have to do for ourselves. Like I said, thinking is just one of them, right? So just imagine this. You got a young chick in the game, she in her early 20s or some shit like that, and in the game, you have to be able to think for yourself. As a young lady in the game, you got to be able to think for yourself. You have to. But like I said, you got a lot of chicks that's young in the game right now, and they've never had to think for themselves. You know, they cheated their whole way through school with their phone. They cheated through elementary school. In elementary school, easy as hell. They cheated through middle school. They cheated through high school. That's why, and again, it's no knock to them, but this has to be a time where there's more I don't want to use the wrong word. There's more, I'll just say there's more people who don't maximize the potential of their brain than ever, who have high school diplomas, college degrees, and all of that. There's more of those kinds of people who don't even get close to maximizing the potential of their brain than it ever was. Some of y'all might say they stupid. I don't want to call them stupid because it's not that they don't have the mental capacity. It's just they don't know what to do with that capacity. They don't know how to occupy more of that capacity because they've never had to, right? It's so many people with high school diplomas that don't know how to count, barely know how to read. Same thing with college degrees. It's so many people with college degrees that barely know how to count, barely know how to read. Like, for real, it's crazy. But this is the world that we in. So like I said, you got young chicks in the game like that who've never had to face certain challenges. That's why I'm so grateful for being born when I was born, even though sometimes I think I should have been born a little bit earlier and I should have been able to exist in a certain different generation. You know what I mean? I really would have loved to have pimped in the 70s. You know what I mean? I really wish I was around I really wish I was a young man in the 70s, man. I just believed that was the time that I was supposed to be here, man. I was supposed to be pimping up a storm in the 70s, man. But hey, it is what it is, right? But I'm still appreciative of the time that I was born, the time that I was raised, because I believe that I might not be the last generation, but my generation is one of the last generations that, like I said, lived during a time where certain things that you should have to do for yourself as a human being, we were still doing it, right? Certain shit you had to figure out on your own. And you didn't have a phone or a device that did all the thinking for you and figured so much shit out for you. You know, that's just like, and you know, it's a trip because it ain't just young people, right? Like, for instance, I know people my age and older that can't get nowhere without a GPS. And some of these people I know that are my age or older that can't get nowhere without a GPS right now, they didn't used to be like that. They used to be able to get around town and, you know, no problem. Man, see me, I just always been that way. You know, I've always been able to figure out my way around town, even if it's a city that I'm brand new to. I just learn my way around cities real quick. It's just something that just come natural to me. Right? And I don't fuck with GPS. You know, and people probably, like, if you saw the way that I get around and the way that I learn my way around town, you probably would look at me crazy, right? Because, like, this is what I do. Like, let's give you an example, right? Hold on. Like, trying to make it where y'all can see it. But that's a map of Medellin, right? That's a map of Medellin, Colombia, which is a city, right? Now, most people, when they looking at a map to get somewhere, they're not really looking at the details of the map. Most of y'all that's watching right now, when you see a map like this and you going from point A to point B, you're not really looking at the details of the map. You don't really see landmarks on the map. You don't see streets on the map. You don't see, you know, this is the east side of town, west side of town, north side of town, south side. You don't see that. The reason why you don't see that is because the only thing you see is the line on the map that takes you from where you are to where you're going. That's the only thing you see is that blue line or whatever color line it is, that thick line that tells you where to go. And you barely even look at that. Why? Because you have a voice that talks to you and tells you turn left in 200 feet or whatever. So you don't even really look at the map. So it's amazing, right? It's amazing how many people don't know how to read a map. And it's simple as fuck. But a lot of y'all that's watching right now, if you didn't, like, say you didn't have no phone service, but you got this map, right? You wouldn't be able to look at this map and get nowhere. I know because I've tested this theory so many times. And a lot of people don't know how to read a damn map. But it's simple as hell to me. So like I said, that's why I'm different from a lot of people, because most of y'all, you just gonna put your destination in on here and it's gonna tell you where to go. So in the midst of that, when you look at this map, you don't see details. Me, on the other hand, I see all the details on the map when I look at the map, because I'm the opposite. I don't look at the map for the GPS. I never use GPS. I never put a destination in here to get where I'm going. What I do is I'll put the destination in there and then I'll look at the map and look at how to get there on the map. Oh, that's over here. You know, these is the cross streets. So I just go down here, make a left, make a right, make a left, make a right, whoopty whoop, and then I'm there. That's what I do. Now, it don't always work out that way, because it ain't always just that simple. You know, you might say, oh, I got to go up this many blocks and then go right and whoopty whoop. But shit don't always appear in real life like it appears on the map. Like, you might get to that street and it's a one-way street and you can't turn down that street because it goes this way and you got to go that way, so much and so forth. Or, you know, the street might not go all the way through right there. You might not be able to drive through because it's blocked off or some shit like that. And you can't tell by looking at the map. But the beauty of that is sometimes you might get lost and figure some shit out. That's why a lot of places, like here in Arizona, for instance, I know so much shit around Arizona. You know, now I know AZ damn near like the back of my hand, but a lot of things that I learned about Arizona as far as like getting around is because I got lost. Not lost, but because I don't ever really get lost for real, but you know, I might have made a wrong turn and it'll take me a longer way around. But in the midst of going that wrong turn and making that longer way around, I figure some shit out. I find some shit. I find a better way to get over here, or over there, you know. But that's the way I learn. And the reason why I'm that way is because I've been looking at maps since before it was a GPS. Right? So I just know how to read maps. But, you know, that's just one example of how a lot of people don't know how to do shit, because devices do everything for you. And, you know, so like I say, because of this, I don't really fault the chicks in the game right now for being uninitiated and not knowing how to do a lot of shit, because they've never had to. You know, certain ways that people's minds were challenged back in the day, they don't never have to deal with that shit. They don't have to figure certain shit out. So, you know, I can't really be mad at them. But again, back to my original point that I was making in all of this, is that there are so many different types of chicks in the game right now, and they have so many different reasons as to why they get in the game. And a lot of those reasons that they get in the game have nothing to do with being successful in the game, thriving in the game. A lot of chicks is in the game for survival. A lot of chicks is in the game for convenience. A lot of chicks is in the game because, like I said, it allows them to be lazy and trifling, and, you know, you can still abide. You can still stay above water like that. So, And a lot of these different people, a lot of these different types of people can like you as a gentleman in the game. See, nowadays, like I said, back to the topic, the original, the main topic of this video, like who likes you. If you going off of like who likes you, a snitch might like you. A bitch that tells on people, because you know you got, like I'm saying, you got so many different types of people in the game. One of the types of ladies that's in the game is serial snitches. You know how they got serial killers? You got bitches in the game that's serial snitches. They just have a thing for snitching on people. It's just something they can't help. They just got to do it. It's like they almost like addicted to it. For real. It sound crazy, sound funny. Some of y'all might be laughing right now, but you really got serial snitches in the game who done snitched on 8, 9 pimps. And it's just like, it's just something that they do. Right? And that type of chick might like you. But if you going off of like who likes me, see, another problem with the like who likes you thing is, if you just liking them, if the only reason or the main reason why you like this chick is because she likes you, or it appears that she likes you, you gonna overlook a lot of shit. Oh, she like me. That's all it take for her to be with you, is just for her to like you, because you like who like you. That's all it take. You gonna overlook a lot of shit. And you know, when you overlook a lot of shit with a chick, man, it can be very dangerous for you. Me, I'm scared of shit. I'm scared to go to jail. I'm scared to lose my freedom. I'm scared of 1 second of jail nowadays, man. Shit, I don't want to do nothing up in there. I don't even want to get too close to the jail, let alone be inside that motherfucker. But, you know, you got people like that. You got chicks that are just deranged. You got chicks that's lazy and just like time wasters. You know, because, you know, one thing that I've come to appreciate more and more as I get, you know, older and go through life is time. I'm always appreciating time more and more, right? Because that's, as all of us know, that's the one thing that you can't get back. If you waste time, you can't replace time. It's just gone. If you waste money, you can replace money. If you waste materials, you can replace materials, but you can't waste time and replace time. Once you waste it, it's over with. So, you know, and then when you the type of person that makes good use of your time, you don't want to waste that shit on nobody and nothing. I don't want to waste no time on nobody and nothing. I'm not wasting no time. So if you're that type of person, then you really have to be that much more careful in who you accept into your life as a gentleman in this game. And if you liking who likes you, you setting yourself up to waste a lot of time, because a lot of bitches will act like they like you and they real good at it, right? But when it come time to prove that they like you, it end up being a waste of time. Especially, like I said, if you the type of person that don't like wasting time and you appreciate your time, that means you productive, because you spending your time wisely. You spending your time being productive. So, you know, if you like who likes you, you might like somebody who don't give a damn about being productive and don't give a damn about wasting their own time, so they really don't give a damn about wasting your time. And some of them, you know, they come in hot. They come in like they really that, but you find out very quickly that they not that. You know? Because, you know, when you a gentleman in the game and you got a certain type of reputation, you got a good reputation about yourself, and people know that you serious and people know that you really mean it, and you know, people value you and appreciate you in the game, right? When a chick see a gentleman like that, this a reputable individual, she thinking to herself like, damn, I like him, but I know I'm gonna have to be on my shit. I can't just get with him and be a lazy bitch, or I can't just get with him and be any kind of way. I'm gonna have to be on my toes if I go choose him. And they might be genuine. They might really want to step they game up, getting with you. But, a lot of bitches just don't be about that. You can put all the game into them in the world, but it might just be not be compatible. Or, she might be receiving the game, but she's just not built to exhibit the game. She's not built to make the most of the game that you're giving her. She might intellectually understand what the game that you're giving her. She might be receiving it, but she just not built to do the right things with it. She just ain't initiated in that way. Right? And if that ends up being the case, then you're wasting your time with somebody like that. You wasting your time giving a whole bunch of game, investing into a chick that can't do nothing with what you giving her. It's a waste of time, or just chooses not to do anything with what you giving her. It's a waste of time. But somebody like that might like you, and you supposed to like who like you, and a bitch that's just playing with the game. She like you, so you supposed to like her? Hell no. Or, you got chicks that might like you that's just super careless. Careless to the point where they might put you in danger on accident. You got some chicks that's just like problematic everywhere they go. Hey, man, Pippin know what I'm talking about, man. Hey, Peas, man. The Peas that's in the building, man. You done had you a bitch before, man, that everywhere she goes, she got conflict. Every hotel that she done been to, she get kicked out. She get into it with the management or the housekeepers or somebody at the hotel. She end up getting kicked out for dumb shit. Every nail place that she go to, she get into it with the nail lady. Every hair place she go to, she get into it with the hair lady. I'm talking about everywhere this chick go, every store she go to, she get into it with the store clerk, cashier, manager, somebody. I know everybody in the game. If you've been in the game long enough, man, you done had at least one chick like that who just has conflict everywhere she goes. You're not going to be productive with nobody like that. Because it's going to come to a point where you can't even send her to do what you want her to do. Because she going to have conflict everywhere she go. You wasting your time. And then within her having conflict everywhere she go, that's like, I got a story, right? Speaking of this, something just came to mind. That's this game. Listen, man, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button. It's a dig, right? I remember I had this chick. And she had some hair, and she was she wanted somebody to install it. She didn't have nobody to install it, right? So I'm looking with her. We going through Yelp and all the different shit, and we find somebody to do her hair, right? We in LA, and the chick who she found to do her hair stay in the 40s, right? And for those of y'all who not familiar, I'm talking about the 40s, like rolling 40s neighborhood crib. The chick who we found to do her hair stays over there, right? So me and the chick, I take her over there to go get her hair done, right? We go to find the lady's apartment. We go up in there, She got one of her little homeboys up in there. She was an older chick, right? And her young homie that was in there, he probably was about my age, maybe a little bit younger. Me and him was kind of close in age though, right? And the little chick is, mind you, she's one of them type of chicks that I'm talking about. Like everywhere she go, she have conflict with everybody about everything. She just one of them problematic conflict ass bitches, right? So we get over there. Everything cool. The lady that's doing her hair, she cool as a motherfucker, right? Me and old boy, her little homeboy that she had there, which I know she probably had him there just for for the bullshit because she don't know us, right? And we coming to her house, so. But me and him cool as hell. We chopping it up. Everything smooth. Man, this stupid ass bitch. The lady doing her hair. The lady been doing her hair for like an hour. Now it's supposed to take a few hours for this chick to do her hair. We like an hour in. We been sitting there. The lady been sitting there doing this chick's hair for an hour. She start complaining. She like, what you doing? Like, why is you doing my hair like that? Like, I don't like the way you doing my hair. And she just talking shit to this lady in her house. And we in the neighborhood. This is gang territory. We not from over here. And she just talking crazy. She just start talking crazier and crazier to the lady. And I had to check her ass. And she start talking crazy to me. I'm not going for that. You know what I mean? So I paid the lady, you know what I mean? I didn't pay her the full amount, of course, because she didn't finish the job. But I paid her for her time. You know what I mean? I can't remember how much money I gave her, but I gave her a cool little amount of money. I can't even remember how much I was supposed to pay her for the whole job. But her prices was reasonable. You know what I mean? Like, because y'all know getting them wigs installed, man, that shit get expensive. Especially if it's some good hair and all that shit. That shit kind of get expensive. But I gave the chick, cool little amount of money for her time. I apologized to her for this stupid ass bitch talking crazy to her. You know what I mean? And when we was leaving, I tried to shake old boy's hand. I'm like, my bad, bro. I went to go shake his hand. That nigga just looked at me like, and he gave me this look like, nigga, you better get your ass up out of here. You know what I mean? And he went from one extreme to the other very quickly. He wasn't on none of that. All that friendly shit that we had going on, he turned all of that off quick. I'm like, yeah, let's get up out of here. You know what I mean? But this is an example of what I'm talking about, like who like you, right? This chick who called herself liking me, and I liked her because she liked me, if I didn't know how to handle myself in that situation, man, we could have not made it up out of there. For real. We in they hood, they could have easily, got rid of us and made us disappear somewhere. You know what I mean? We completely out of bounds. And this little dumbass bitch know it. And she talking crazy to this woman in her house where we don't know what they got up in here, but chances are they got something dangerous in here for sure. I know they got something dangerous in here within reach that they could use whenever they get ready. And we up in they shit. And not only do they have it, but we in their neighborhood, so they got people all around that got it too. You know what I mean? If they wanted to make sure we didn't get up out of there, they could have easily did that. You know what I mean? So, but this is me liking who like me. Right? So that's just an example of how in today's time, and that wasn't even in today's times, this is some years ago, but in today's times, it's even more so a thing where if you call yourself liking who like you as a gentleman in this game, you could potentially put yourself in some fucked up situations. For real. It could get very tricky for you. Liking who likes you. So that's one aspect of it, right? It's a lot of ways that things can go wrong, quote unquote, liking who likes you. Now, this is another thing, right? If you have the mindset of like who likes you, that means that whoever you whoever you end up dealing with, whoever you end up talking to, they already had a liking for you, and that's why you entertained them. You entertained her because you saw that she had a liking for you, right? She showed you that she had a liking for you, and then that prompted you to have a liking for her. So let me tell you, man, me, some of the best runs that I've had was with chicks that I didn't know if they was gonna like me or not. But I saw something in them that I took a liking to. It might have been the way the bitch looked. It might have been the way the bitch moved. It might have been her energy. It might have been her personality. It could have been a number of things. And I didn't know that if in this I'm seeing all of this before I have any kind of interaction with her, before I talk to her, before I say anything to her, before I have a conversation with her. I see something in her. So I've developed a liking for her, but I don't know if she got a liking for me. She don't even know if she got a liking for me because I ain't said nothing to her. And she might not even seen me. I seen her, but she ain't seen me. So I don't even know if this chick got a liking for me. And when we first start talking, it might start off where she doesn't have a liking for me. But see, this is the beauty of this game, right? When you got this game, man, you can turn all that shit around. A bitch you can't stand your guts, you can make that bitch fall in love with you, man. If you know how to say the right shit. If you got some game about yourself, man. If you know how to talk for your shit, man. Hey, you can make a bitch that can't stand your guts fall in love with your motherfucking ass and be ready to kill and die about you. When you got some game. Right? She might not like you at all. But when you got some game, when you know how to say the right shit to make a bitch feel the right way, hey, man, you know, she might end up liking you like nobody else ever liked you before. Right? That's the beautiful thing about this game. But it takes for you to really have a game for real to even know that and understand that and have experienced that. When you really got this game for real, you know that, right? And this is a situation where, you know, you going after the chick who you like. Because, like I said, a lot of cats who live by the philosophy of like who likes you, within that they say, don't go for the one that you like because you're going to run into a lot of problems going after who you like. But hey, man, I done had some of the best runs with the ones that I liked first. I liked her before she liked me. You know what I mean? Because with a chick, you can't predict what they gonna do. They can't even predict what they gonna do. A bitch don't know what she gonna like 2 minutes from now and 5 minutes from now. Within the next 20 minutes, she might like 20 different things of the same, or 20 different kinds of the same thing. So you can't, you can't base your decisions on what a bitch like. That's the bottom line. If you basing your decisions on what a bitch like, you really set, especially in today's times, because there's so many distractions in the world. Bitches stay getting distracted, so their attention span is, like that of a goldfish. So if you basing decisions and things that you doing and moves that you making on what a bitch like, man, you gonna be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, man. Cause a bitch might like something different every 2 seconds. So you gonna change your decisions, you gonna change your moves, you gonna change what you got going on to accommodate what a bitch like, man, that's crazy. And then not just that, but I know that I have the power of influence as a gentleman in this game. So guess what? I can influence what the bitch like. I can make the bitch like what I want her to like. She don't even know what she finna like in a few minutes. But I know that because I got this game and I got the experience, I done dealt with so many different types of chicks and I done been through so much trial and error. So I know what to say and do in order to get her to like what I want her to like. So, yeah, man. I'm not basing no decisions on what a bitch like. And I know that I can make her like what I want her to like. Cause see, this is what you gotta understand about women. And every piece should understand this about women. Women ultimately make decisions based on how they feel. Now everybody understands that, women tend to be emotionally driven. But within being emotionally driven, their main thing is feeling good. I don't give a fuck what nobody tell you. A woman's top priority in life is to feel good. And they will do anything it takes to feel good. They will put themselves in any situation it takes to feel good. That's what it's all about. So if you see a bitch doing anything phenomenal, it's because it's making her feel good. If you see a bitch doing anything productive or whatever, it's because it's making her feel good. And if you see her in a situation where she ain't, it's because it ain't making her feel good. If you see a bitch comfortable in mediocrity, if you see her comfortable being a bum, because it don't take much for her to feel good. A lot of bitches nowadays, all it takes for them to feel good is a phone, a vape, some weed, and some alcohol. That don't really take much. You don't have to be highly productive to acquire those things. You don't have to be highly driven and inspired and motivated to acquire those things. So, a chick like that, it don't take much for her to feel good. So, she not, like I say all the time, man, a satisfied need no longer motivates. So if a bitch is satisfied with low level things, she's not going to be motivated to do anything greater than that. A satisfied need no longer motivates. If she's satisfied, she's not going to be motivated to do anything beyond that satisfaction. And unfortunately, a lot of chicks are easily satisfied with very simple and easily accessible things. Right? See, the pimping, 9 times out of 10, the pimping ain't satisfied very easily. We got big appetites. It take a lot for us to even get like a little glimpse of satisfaction. But 9 times out of 10, pimping ain't never satisfied. We like the Rolling Stones, man. We can't get no satisfaction. Pimping and satisfaction really don't cross paths too much. Right? So with that being said, we always striving. We always, want to do bigger and better things. We might have a vision in mind and do some big old shit. And then when we realize that vision and do that big old shit, we thinking of the next big old shit to do. We constantly thinking bigger. We constantly thinking greater. We constantly pushing the envelope. We constantly, pushing the limits. We constantly taking it as far as we could take it and making it whatever we can make it. That's the pimping. That's how we are. We just wired that way. But a lot of chicks are not wired that way. And a lot of times it'll appear that they are, but it just has to do with something something in the mix making them feel good, right? And sometimes, man, like, you know, and I was just chopping it up with my young partners about this earlier, man. But a lot of times, chicks will be in luxury and, living lavish and, might got some nice jewelry, nice car, nice place to live, nice accessories and shit like that. But, and it might seem like that's making her feel good, but a lot of times bitches don't care about none of that shit. It's just that it makes us feel good and they like making us feel good. That makes them feel good. But the things that make us feel good, they don't really care about that shit. It's just that, they liked it. It makes us feel good. But the things themselves, they don't really care about that shit. That's why the same bitch that hoe up for a mansion can go back to her mama's couch and sleep on that motherfucker like a baby. Because, a lot of times that ain't what make a bitch feel good. Put some more love in my body, man. Excuse my pimping, man. Y'all know I just get to popping this shit, man. I don't even be looking at the comments or nothing like that, man. So, again, excuse my pimping on that note. Let me, and then a lot of times I'll be missing the comments because I'll be, the screen right here is, the comments is small on there. So I'm going to the video. I mean, the phone so I can see the chat. Suppose the Prince said them 40 niggas ain't no joke though. Yeah, they definitely ain't. You know what I mean? And this bitch was over there being disrespectful to this woman, man. But we made it out of there by the grace of God, fortunately. You dig? Joseph Mills say, welcome back to the States, Pete. Appreciate you, man. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, though, man. I ain't going to lie. I'm already thinking about the next destination, man. For real. Already thinking about the next destination because I done kind of ran my time up in Colombia for this year. So unless I get a visa, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna do or not. But unless I get a visa, I'm gonna have to wait till New Year's to go fuck with that Colombia or close to New Year's. Yeah, man, but it's crucial to understand some of the things that I was just saying about how, you got so many different types of chicks in the game. Because if you understand, the better you understand people, the better you're able to deal with people accordingly. But if you just chalk it up as, oh, these bitches ain't shit. These bitches lazy. These bitches bums. These bitches this. These bitches that. If you just chalk it up as that, you know, you kind of dooming yourself. Hold on a second. Y'all give me a second, man. Stay right there. I got to fix something real quick. I'll be right back. Again, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you step to a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button. Give me about 30 seconds, and I'm going to be right back. And just like that, we right back at it. You dig? Hold on, I got a few supers to shout out. Hold on. Icebergs, good looking with the 10 euro holla. Freeze, there are many phrases said in the game, passed off as wisdom, like the title of the video. Are there any other phrases in the game that sound good, but your experience shows you that the flaws in it? Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second, but definitely for sure. For sure, for sure. King Juice, good looking with the $20 holla. Appreciate you. Oh shit. Hold up. Damn. Okay. Bam, bam. Icebergs, once again, good looking with the £5 or euros holla. Question. Freeze, why do some pimps have success on lesser tracks? But when they come to some of the premier tracks, they go from 100 to 0. Let's see. You know, see this is something that you gotta understand too. It don't always be the pimping, man. A lot of times, you might have a V12 pimp, but he trying to put this V12 game into a 4-cylinder bitch. So a lot of times that's not always it doesn't always depict his level of pimping. And then what you got to understand too about chicks in the game, you got all different types of chicks in the game, right? And a lot of times what happens and pimping makes this mistake a lot. I've made this mistake in my times where you got a chick that's meant to be a point guard, but you trying to play her at center. You got a chick that's supposed to be a power forward, but you got her at the 2 guard. Shit like that. A lot of times, man, cats don't take the time to really understand what a bitch's strong suits are and then send her according to that. So a lot of times it could be that type of shit where, like you say, and when you say lesser tracks, I don't really look at tracks in the sense of lesser or premier or shit like that. I know you got some tracks that's less active than others, but yeah, as far as like the potential of what can happen on certain tracks, yeah, I definitely see that for sure. But like I said, man, a lot of times it just because a pimp's productivity on certain tracks may not be what they are on other tracks, it might not necessarily mean that his pimping ain't capable or up to par. It might just be the game that he got. And when I say game that he got, I'm talking about the young ladies that's representing him. They might not be, up to par when it comes to certain things, or they might not be suited for this. They better suited over here than they are over there, and so on and so forth. Because a lot of tracks are different. Like the way that you operate, the way that you function, the way that things move. A lot of tracks is different. I go damn near go as far as say every track is different. You can't play. There's no one cookie cutter textbook way that you could play every blade. It don't work like that. Or every track. It don't work like that. You got to understand where you at, because each blade has its own different unique shit about it. So you got to understand that. And Sometimes cats might not understand that. But another thing, back to your first question, Ice. Uh, where was your first question? Oh yeah, Freeze. There are many phrases said in the game passed off as wisdom, like the title of the video. Okay, so another thing, right? Because like I said earlier in the video, for those of y'all who came in later, sometimes you have situations where people will use cliches and terminology that was more suitable for a different time than they are in today's times, right? Another term that fits that description is a chick being a reflection of you. And I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again right now, right? But that's something else that we say in the game quite often, that, you know, a chick is a reflection of whoever she fucking with in the game, right? Like a chick is a reflection of her folks. It's something that we've been saying in the game forever, right? Since before my time, you know, Cat's been saying that forever. And again, in times past, it made more sense to say that, because it was more likely that a chick was gonna be a reflection of whoever she messing with in the game, right? But see, times are very different now. So because times are very different now, and the way that times are very different now, a chick ain't always a reflection of who she fucking with in the game. A chick ain't always a reflection of her folks, right? Now, the reason why it made sense to say that back in the days, or more sense to say it back in the days than it did now, or than it does now, is because, see, back in the days, when a chick was messing with some pimping, that man more than likely was the strongest influence in her life. That's usually how it went. When a chick had folks back in the day, that man was usually the strongest influence in her life. He usually had her attention like nothing else and nobody else. And he had the power of influence over her like nothing else and nobody else. But like I said, times are very different now. And within times being different now, a bitch folks ain't always the strongest influence in her life. It's a lot of other people and a lot of other things that might have a stronger influence on her than her folks. One of the things that might have a stronger influence on her than her folks is this shit right here. A lot of times, this right here has a stronger influence on a broad than her folks. And the shit that's within this thing right here. You know, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of these things might have a stronger influence on the bitch than pimping do. So, you know, the bottom line is a chick is a reflection of whatever her strongest influences are. Whatever has her captivated more than anything. See, like I said, when people said that back in the day, the reason why it made more sense because pimping usually was the thing that had a chick in the game captivated. The pimping was. But now it's other things that might have a chick more captivated than her folks, than the guy that she's handing it over to. The guy that, you know, is giving her instructions every day. You know, she listening to him, she breaking herself to him, she following his instructions, but, you know, she's being influenced by some dumbass bitches that she be seeing on TikTok. She be listening to on TikTok. Like, what's her name? And some of y'all was getting at me to talk about this chick too. Woo Lady. Right? Now imagine that. You might have a chick in the game that got folks. She breaking herself to him. She following his instructions. She down for him every day. but while she on the track, she listening to Woo Lady. I think that's the girl's name. The chick who be calling herself giving chicks game. I think she be doing consultations or giving courses, or I think did she write a book? I think she did write a book if I ain't mistaken. But yeah, you know, you call yourself the pimpin' and you pimping on this chick, man, and she under your game and everything like that. But while she down on the track, she listening to Woo Lady. Or she probably done bought Woo Lady's book and she reading her book and trying to, you know, let that be her game. She getting her game from Woo Lady. She ain't trying to listen to the pimping. Pimping game is 1,000 times better than Woo Lady, you know, and it's tried and true. It's proven over and over again the pimping's game is way better than this bitch. But, you know, Woo Lady make it sound real good. Or, you know, see, people be so naive nowadays, they don't be understanding plays when they taking place. They don't be understanding how much shit on the internet is a play. They make it seem like it's organic. They make it seem like it's natural, but the whole shit is a play, right? And what I mean by that, like an example. Now, I haven't really seen a whole lot of Woo Lady, right? But I remember, matter of fact, the only time I watched one of her videos, she was talking to this chick, right? She was the girl Woo Lady was live, and she was talking to this chick, and the chick was like, "Yeah, this is my scenario. I have a sugar daddy. He does this for me. He does that for me. Da 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 da. He do this. He do that. But I'm trying to take it to the next level. I don't know what to do. Yada yada yada. Right." So Woo Lady started telling her all this shit to do, and she like, "Oh yeah, I can do that," and da 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 da. And you know, so she making it seem like Woo Lady is giving her some real good game. But people don't be knowing that whole shit is a play. They had this shit scripted. Now, I can't prove it. I don't know for sure, but, you know, I just know plays when I see them. And don't nothing on the internet surprise me. Nothing on the internet got me like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Now, me, I ain't really into all the play, you know, setting up plays and doing scripted shit, you know, but this is what people do, especially when they got a product or a course or some shit like that to sell, right? But my point is, bitches be falling for that type of shit, you know? Like Woo Lady probably be having, you know, fake callers, scripted callers, you know, yeah, girl, call me, you know, at such and such time. When it get 15 minutes into the video, girl, just call me and I'm gonna give you some game on the live. We gonna make it sound like this and look like that. You know what I mean? That's gonna intrigue people to, you know, buy my book or buy my course or do a consultation with me. You know, all that shit just be plays. Right? And these people don't be having no real game for real. And people that do have real game see through that shit like plastic. See through that shit like this. Glass. You know what I mean? But, you know, these young chicks be so impressionable. And not only are they impressionable, but they're intrigued by shortcuts. Shortcuts, or the thought thereof, pique their interest. If anything look like a shortcut, sound like a shortcut, smell like a shortcut, count them in. They don't give a damn about your good ass proven instructions that, you know, you done gave so many different bitches in the game and they've successfully done things with your instructions. You know, these bitches don't give a damn about none of that. If Woo Lady is presenting something that seemed like a shortcut to them and it seemed like it's going to work, guess what? They're going to listen to Woo Lady. Even though they don't know Woo Lady from a can of paint, they haven't seen anybody take Woo Lady, you know, some real game from Woo Lady and do some real shit with it. They have yet to see it. They ain't even seen Woo Lady herself do nothing with some real game. But guess what? She make it look real good on the internet. So, you know, Fuck what Pimpin talking about, even though Pimpin is on doing his thing and he done did it over and over again. He done took losses and bounced back, and now he doing his shit like never before. All that shit don't even matter. Back to feeling good. That's every bitch's main priority is feeling good. And for a lot of these chicks, it feels better, if it makes them feel better to listen to a gameless chick that just sound good than it do to, listening to the pimping. Listening to the pimping might not make them feel that good. you know? Hold on, let me shout my peoples out again. Brother Bill, top of the morning, man. Good looking with the $2 holla. Glory to God for this game. Long live Philip Brandon Gilmore. Blessings. Appreciate you, man. As always. Low Joe, top of the AM, man. Good looking with the $2 holla. Did you hear about the Penn Avenue murder in 2023? Not off top. I might have heard about it back then, but I don't know if it's something recently is being talked about. I'm not sure. Excuse my pimping, man. Pimp been up, man. Shit, I've been up damn near 24 hours, man. So, yeah. But nah, I guess I might have to look into that, Lojo. I'm not hip to it. Icebergs, good looking once again with the €5 holla. Sinful said that Joe Cato and Joe Langford were the greatest pimps. What was it about their game that made them have the success that they did? Well, of course, those gentlemen were well before our time, so I wasn't, pimping side by side with them or witnessing them as they pimped. So I can't tell you precisely based on experience what made them, their game so great. But, even though I didn't know them personally, I do know this game personally. Me and this game and we have a great relationship, you dig? So, it's a number of things. And then just, understanding how times were back then, understanding, like, once again, how the world was different back then. Chicks chose for different reasons. Chicks got in the game for different reasons. Pimps pimp for different reasons, man. And I would imagine that those guys had a certain type of aura about themselves, for one, a certain type of presence. Some people just have like a some people just have a certain type of aura and presence about themselves, man. It's just like larger than life. And I would imagine that those guys definitely had that about themselves. And a lot of times what separates guys from the rest is their ambition, their drive. A lot of times certain dudes, they just be driven like nobody else. A lot of times it don't necessarily be because somebody is the best looking or the smartest or the wisest or any of that. Sometimes it just be that, certain individuals are just driven more than anybody, right? That's why you have people like Jerry Rice, who ran a 4.7 in the 40, which for those of y'all unfamiliar with sports, That's not really very fast for a football player, for a wide receiver. Most wide receivers is running at least a 4.4 or 4.3. Jerry Rice is running a 4.7. But his work ethic was so ridiculous. His drive was so ridiculous. His ambition was so off the charts. You know, in my book, he the most legendary wide receiver it ever was. Right? But it wasn't because of his athleticism or his natural given gifts. You know, he was just driven like crazy. Same thing with like a Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was just driven, you know. Now Michael Jordan, of course, athletically he was very gifted. But are there other basketball players who have been more athletically gifted than Michael Jordan? Definitely, for sure. You know, I would say that Vince Carter is one of those people. Vince Carter, I would say, was more athletically gifted than Michael Jordan. Tracy McGrady, for sure, was more athletically gifted than Michael Jordan. I'm talking about people that just like they athletic ability, right? Those is just a couple of people. But if I sit back and really think about it, I'm pretty sure I could think of some more people that were more athletically gifted than Michael Jordan. But he was just driven in a certain type of way that just separated him from everybody else, right? It wasn't necessarily that he was just the most capable out of everybody. He was one of the most capable, but he wasn't the most capable. But his drive just distinguished him from everybody, right? So when it come back to this pimping, that's something that I believe had to be one of the big determining factors with somebody like a Joe Cato or a Joe Langford. They drive their ambition. They wanted to be those guys. They didn't just end up being them guys on accident, or they just, was doing their thing and just stumbled across being them guys. No, they wanted to be who they ended up becoming. They were driven to be who they ended up becoming. They wanted to have them larger than life reputations that preceded them, in the streets or in the game. They wanted to be that more than anybody else. And that's what drove them to become that. Right? And then in the midst of that pursuit, because you're so driven and so hungry and so ambitious, yeah, that determination is gonna take you places that everybody else ain't gonna go. The average motherfucker ain't gonna make it to. Right? So you gonna acquire a certain type of game that the average motherfucker ain't gonna be able to acquire. And then you just never know what they strong suits was as men, right? You got different types of pimps, man. You got certain pimps that's like mad scientists when it comes to game. I got certain partners, man, certain individuals that I've known in the game. They are just like mad scientists, man, when it comes to this game. It's like they in a laboratory with a white coat on and a beaker and chemicals and shit, whipping up some game. It's like you got dudes that's like mad scientists, man, like Dr. Frankenstein when it comes to this game, man, whipping up some shit, like for real. For real. They like chemists when it comes to this game. You got guys like that, and then you got dudes that got hell of a mouthpiece. They just whimsical with the words. They just, without even trying, everything that come out their mouth just is like butter. It's just smooth as hell. Then you got dudes that ain't got no hell of a mouthpiece, but they and might not have no hell of a game, but they just charismatic. They got good people skills. They just know how to deal with people very well. You know, they know how to connect with people. They know how to vibe with people. You know. Then you got some people that don't have none of that shit, but they just funny as a motherfucker. And they know how to charm and disarm people with humor. You got all different kinds of guys in the game, man. And, you know, all of these different strong suits can be utilized in your pimping. But what separates certain individuals from the rest is that drive, that ambition, that hunger, you know. And like I said, I just believe that guys like Joe Langford and Joe Cato and the like, you know, the main thing that separated them from everybody else was their drive to be the best, their ambition to be the best at what they do, their ambition and drive to be legendary, to be spoken about, you know, decades after they gone, like they are, like we sitting here talking about them right now. You know, they wanted to be that. So, insert Scrooge, good looking with the jewels, man. I see you done sent a few jewels, and I think it's because of the type of live we're not doing the vertical live right now. I think that's why I can't see the jewels on the screen, even though some jewels be showing up on the screen, but some of them don't, unless it's one of them vertical lives. But whatever the case, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you with them gifts. I mean, them jewels, for sure. Right. Like Curry Smoke say, there's a nigga up north better than Jordan that didn't get that break. As Jadakiss said, that's real. Right, they had females' undivided attention. Like I said, man, you know, they was just fortunate to be, you know, around during a great time. Because like I said, we live in a time now where there's more distractions than ever. We've never had this many distractions. It's a distraction overload for everybody right now. It's ridiculous. Tyreek, Freeze, what up? What's up, bro? Top of the AM to you, man. Well, in some places now it's afternoon. So top of the day to you. Bo on for on. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but good looking with the $5 holla. Are you ever going to tap in with Goldie and chop up game on live? Uh, Possibly so. You know, I'm open to that. Like I've said before, you know, I wouldn't mind going live with Goldie. You know, I think it would be interesting. And you know, the thing about me, like I said, man, I don't do plays and I don't do scripts and shit like that. So, you know, with me, it's gonna be raw and uncut coming from my end. You dig? So, uh, I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. I ain't gonna water down nothing. So, you know, I think that would be interesting. Wouldn't mind going live with the young man one of these days. Low Joe, good looking with the $2 holla. 100 for them gems you found. and put on Patreon for sure. Hey, and I got some more that I gotta put on there too. They gonna keep coming. It's some more that I found that I have to put on there, and I gotta look for some more too because I haven't went through everything yet. You know, like I said, I stumbled upon an area where bro has some things, and it's been there. It's been like literally right under my nose for a minute, and I didn't even know this shit was there. I just so happened to stumble upon that shit recently, and so now, you know, I'm able. I got a real good one that I need to put up. Uh, I'm gonna see if I can make it better before I post it though, which I kind of think I might be able to, cause it's one video I want to put on Sinful's Patreon, but the audio ain't really that good, and I want to see if I can make the audio better before I put it up there. I mean, you can hear it, but it's just I think I can make the audio a little better, so I'm gonna see what I could do with that. But yeah, Joe Blast, what's up with it, man? Enough respect, freeze in the chat. 100, 100. You dig? Yeah, man. Nigel Christian says, freeze. I done missed half the video chopping game with the fellas and chatting with a few lovely ladies. Oh man, that's not a bad reason to miss half the video, man. Shit. If I was in your position, I would have missed half the video too. You dig? Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with, chopping it up with a few lonely ladies and the fellas, of course. You dig? Nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, man. I'm waiting on the Kanika Jenkins video and the 6ix9ine situation when it happened. Hey, matter of fact, Lojo, I gotta remember to do it, but I want to put you up on something. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. When this live is over with, or at a later time or something, I want to put you up on something. And once I bring it to your attention, you might be able to find certain things yourself, like I was able to find certain things myself. But I'll tell you about it later on, though. Sucker repellent, top of the morning, man. What's up with it? We just on here chopping this good old game, man. Before I went live, like I said, I've been up almost 24 hours, man. And I damn near wanted to lay it down, man. But, Pimp was looking so good, and I ain't gave y'all this suit action in so long, man. I ain't gave y'all good shirt and tie video and shit almost a year, man. So, or might have been about a year, shit, on the real. Like I said, for those of y'all who came in late, man, this is my first time putting on a suit in 2026. I ain't put on a suit since 2025. Yesterday was my first time driving in 2026. I ain't drove a car since last year. And yesterday also was my first time touching some American money. I ain't touched no American money since last year. So it was a trip, man. Yesterday was kind of interesting in those regards. Ray Holt says, I've seen women pretend to like a man but didn't. So I'm skeptical about who likes you theory. Yeah, man. And then, you got chicks like I said, you got so many chicks in the game, man. You got chicks like that too, man. You got chicks that'll pretend to like you just so they can set you up. They get in your business, figure out the ins and outs, figure out where you're vulnerable at, and then strike. You know what I mean? Come try to wipe you out, clean you out for everything of value, monetary value, that is. I remember if you go back and watch the live I did some years back called Freeze versus 30 Mexicans. It's a crazy video, crazy story, right? But to summarize part of that story, speaking of, you know, liking who liked you, and like you said, a chick pretending to like you, but she don't. So it's crazy because that joint ain't even there no more, man. But the Greyhound station downtown LA on 7th Street, down the street from 7th and Alameda, right? So I pull up to that Greyhound station one day, and it's a little white chick outside on the phone talking loud, just kind of like being a little too careless when it comes to divulging her information, right? So I was able to pick up through her conversation that she was, active in the game. So me and her start talking. And she just telling me, like, she just spilling the beans, telling me all kind of crazy shit about her little hoeography, right? Her little hoe facts, right? So this chick, she was a little white girl. She had 5 different pimps' names tatted on her. Like I said, how you got serial snitches, you got serial choosers too in the game now, right? You got serial choosy Susies. Just like you got serial snitch bitches in the game, you got serial choosy Susies as well. And this chick was one of them, right? But within her being a serial choosy Susie, she was a serial getting her folks' names tatted. She had 5 different pimps' names tatted on her. And some of them, I want to say like a good 2 of them at least, was a situation where she had their name tatted, then covered their name up, and then re-tatted their names again. This chick was crazy, right? So, she was on her way to Vegas, and she had proceeded to tell me that, and I think she might have just got dude's name tatted. He might have been one of the ones that was tatted, covered, and re-tatted, right? But whatever the case, she had his name tatted. And she was on her way to Vegas. This is a dude that she had been with before. She was on her way to Vegas to get back with him. But this bitch tells me, and see, she knows I'm a P. She know I'm the pimpin'. But what some bitches underestimate is the degrees of separation between the pimping. It's really probably only 1 degree of separation between the pimping, man. Like, if I don't know you, I know somebody that knows you. And that's as far as it goes. It ain't like no 2 degrees or more of separation between the pimping. Like, if one of us don't know you, then we know somebody that knows you. And that's as far as it go. Like, if I can't get at you directly, I could call somebody who can get at you directly and we could connect like that. You know what I mean? If I need to talk to you about something in the game and I don't know you, we both know somebody. We both got some mutual pimp partner somewhere, right? So she's telling me this shit that she finna go set this dude up to go, she like, yeah, I'm finna just go to his house and make him real comfortable, make him think that I'm back fucking with him. But as soon as he let his guard down, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna rob him for this. And I'm just listening to the bitch, but I'm in my head. So the dude that she was going out there to get with, I didn't know him personally, but we were familiar with each other. Like, he knew who I was and I knew who he was, but we didn't know each other personally, right? We was friends on Facebook. And so after the bitch tell me all of this, we had, if you, like I said, if you go back and watch the video, Freeze versus 30 Mexicans, you'll hear the whole story. But me and her had like a little altercation. And after the little altercation took place, I got in touch with P and let him know, like, hey, man, I was just sitting here with this bitch, man, and this is what she told me her plans was. And I think he's still, took the broad after that. You know? But yeah, man, that's a prime example of like you just mentioned, where a chick pretend like she like you, but she don't. You gotta watch out for them types of bitches, man. You know? Set up artists. You know, like Belle Biv DeVoe had a song back in the day called Poison, and within that song they said never trust a big butt and a smile. Never trust a big butt and a smile. Never trust a fat trap in a smile. Never trust a I want to fuck with you in a smile. You know, it's a lot of shit with a smile that you can't trust. Hold on. Mr. Reed, man, what it do, man? Top of it. Good looking with the $10 holla. Glory to the game. I'm in Florida right now. I just finished a 6-mile walk in 90 degrees. In 90 degrees with a 40-pound weighted vest. Oh yeah, you on your shit doing all that there. I get on YouTube and this game is back. I'm down 100 pounds. Yeah, man. See, that's the type of shit I likes to hear, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Give it up for Mr. Reed, man. Down 100 pounds. That's, man, I love hearing shit like that, man. You know, that's so beautiful. Down 100 pounds. I could just imagine how you feel. I mean, I'm sure you look a whole lot better, but that feeling, man. Then you said you did 6 miles in 90-degree weather with a 40-pound weighted vest? Boy, you ain't playing, man. I love that, man. I love that right there. That just made my morning for real, though, man. I love hearing shit like that. That really just made my morning for real. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing right there. I'm curious what your diet is like though, Mr. Reed. Are you are you doing the intermittent fasting? I would imagine you probably are. You know, you eating once a day, twice a day. You know what I mean? I'm curious to know how many times a day you eating. Cause, I know for me, man, that intermittent fasting, when you doing that and getting your cardio in, boy, the weight gonna melt off like butter without even trying. Like me, when I went to Colombia, I wasn't even trying to lose weight like that. But I lost like 30 pounds, not even trying, just intermittent fasting and walking 10,000 to 15,000 steps every day. Some days I walk 20 and 30,000 steps, but on average, 10 to 15,000 steps, and drop weight without even trying. So yeah. Sylvia say 5 tats? Hell no. Yeah, this chick was crazy and just was telling me all the business. Like I was finna be like, oh, for real? You finna go rob the pimpin'? Damn, that's crazy. And just leave it at that. Damn, you finna go rob the pimpin' for real? Damn, that's crazy. Damn. Like chicks don't be thinking, man. Some of these bras just don't. They got a brain that they refuse to use. She was not into using her brain at all. Like, damn, girl, you finna go rob the pimpin'? Like, you finna go right now to Vegas? and rob the pimpin'? You finna set him up? Or you gonna lay in the cut? You gonna get him comfortable. You gonna act like you horn for him for a few days and come in and hand him some traps, and then you gonna get him. Damn, that's crazy. I can't believe you finna do that. You finna do it though. I know you finna do it. I know you serious. You really finna do it. But damn, that's crazy that you gonna do that. Damn. Like I'm just not gonna tell the pimpin'. Like, bitch, you stupid. Mr. Reed, good looking again with the $20 holla. I only eat one meal a day. I only eat out of a bowl, no carbs, no sugar, only fruit blend or only fruit blended up in a smoothie with protein and collagen, water, no juice, no pot, salmon, shrimp, and lean chicken thighs, grilled only, no fried food. Yeah, man, you sound very similar to me and with a lot of that. You know what I mean? With a lot of that, like me, lately I only been eating once a day, one meal a day. Uh, no carbs, no sugar. Uh, I I ain't been real heavy on the fruit lately. I need to kind of step my fruit game up. I ain't been able to do no smoothies. I don't know if I told y'all. Nah, matter of fact, I don't think I told y'all. So when I was in Peru, right, my ninja played out on me, man. I was traveling abroad with my ninja, man, and I was in Peru, and I had just made a smoothie earlier that day, like probably a few hours before, right? But I'm sitting there chilling, and I got the ninja plugged up in the wall. It had been plugged up for like some hours. 'Cause like I said, I just made a smoothie earlier that day, and I just left it plugged up, right? I'm sitting there chilling, and all of a sudden I hear come from the kitchen, right? I hear like a little pop, like a in the kitchen where the ninja was. So I get up, go over there and look, and there's smoke coming from the socket where the ninja was plugged up at. It was smoke coming from there, and it was smoke coming from underneath the ninja. So I'm like, fuck, man. Next thing you know, I try to turn that shit on. That shit ain't working. I'm like, man, this old janky ass spot in Peru and blew my ninja up, man. So that was the end of my little smoothies at the crib situation setup that I had going on. From there, I had to, you know, go somewhere else and get smoothies. And that's one thing I noticed. Like some of these other countries, man, smoothies ain't as popular as they are here. Like juices are popular. Find a lot of spots where they make fresh squeezed juice, and that shit is cool. But you don't really find a lot of smoothie places in Colombia and Peru and shit like that. But yeah, that put a little damper on my trip after that, man. I was like, damn, man, it blew my ninja up. You know, that ninja be coming in handy for them smoothies and shit like that. Then they got a, but it might have been. It might have just been, I guess, as what they call manifest destiny or whatever. Might have been that because they got a newer ninja. Because my ninja was kind of like, I had it for some years, so it was still real good, especially for me. But they got some ninjas out now. These the new ninja they got, that motherfucker make acai bowls, and that shit do all it make I think you can make sauces with it. It do all kind of shit. The new ninja that they got out now, the new top of the line one, man, that joint do all kind of shit. I think you can make butter, like not butter, but like not just sauces, but like creams. You can make all kind of shit with that joint. So vegetables as well, heavy on the cabbage, mixed veggies, callaloo, and salads. Yeah, for sure. That's what's up, man. I love to hear that type of shit, man. That's that good energy we need floating around up in here, man. See, we got to talk about that type of stuff. We got to tell these type of stories of progress because you never know. It's 215 people in here right now, man. You never know who might just be in the cut. They ain't making no comments. They not saying nothing. They just listening, soaking up the game, and being inspired when they hear these stories like that, man. So, it's important to it's important to share these testimonies because you never know who's listening, being inspired by this shit, man, for real. So, yeah, I love to hear it, man. Love that shit. Hustle Man Wayne says, "Why do you eat the meat that you do? Can you explain that?" Uh, well, me personally, so I don't eat shellfish. I'll talk about the meats that I don't eat first. I don't eat shellfish. I don't eat, well, even though that's not technically meat, but it's flesh. Talk about the flesh that I don't eat. I don't eat shellfish. I don't eat pork or beef or any red meat. Uh, yeah, those the main meats, I guess you could say, that I don't eat. Uh, I mainly eat poultry, chicken or turkey, and I eat salmon. Salmon is like the main fish that I eat. There's probably some other fish that I'll eat too, but salmon is like the main fish that I'll eat. But the reason why I eat those meats is because I like having some muscle mass on me, and that's just like the best sources for protein. And I know they got a lot of protein supplements and shit out there, but I like to get as much protein as possible from what I eat, as opposed to taking supplements and shit like that. So that's why I eat the meats that I eat, is for the protein. Man, what the fuck? Another Feezy? My camera just tripped out. But it's all good. That's weird. I think my camera just switched because my phone got I think like a couple different cameras and shit. My camera just switched. That's crazy. Red snapper. See, I know red snapper is usually fried. I don't even think you could cook red snapper baked or grilled or nothing like that, because the texture of it. I think when you cook red snapper, I think you can only fry it. And I don't eat fried food, so man, I can't even remember the last time I had some red snapper. But when I was growing up, I used to love red snapper because my pops loved red snapper. So uh, my pops used to hook that shit up. I ain't had it in forever though. Fear Soul says, "I'm about to marinate this tuna steak. That shit sound fire. That sound fire." Oh, and tuna as well. I'm talking about the fish that I eat. I eat salmon, and of course, I eat tuna as well, and sardines as well. I do the sardines. Those like the main fish that I eat: salmon, tuna, and sardines. Uh, yeah, that's mainly the fish that I eat. Bo Bo Onion. I think that's how you. It might be how you say your name, Bo Onion. Cause I doubt it's Bo on for on. Bo Onion, good looking with the $2 holla. Is the pimpin' ever going to get married? I can't see it for myself, man. To each their own. No knock to nobody that is married, but yeah, I just can't see it, man. not only have I not felt that way about a particular individual, but on top of that, I just don't want the government in my business, man. I don't want to empower a bitch to just, if depending on how long she married to me, she get, she just get to wreak havoc in my life when she part ways with me, man. Now I'm cool. But I don't like them ties, like being bound to a bitch. I'm cool on all that shit, man. Legally bound to a bitch, I'm cool. Pimp ain't doing that, man. Pimp is not doing that. You can grill and bake red snapper P. My BM from Brazil. Oh, okay, you can grill it too. I guess you just got to know what you're doing because I don't know anybody that know how to grill that shit. I know people that could did fry that shit, but I don't know nobody that can grill it. I'm just too smooth. Said you can't escape stupid bitch season. Nah, as Simple to P taught, you definitely can't escape stupid bitch season. It's unavoidable. It's unavoidable, man. For real, for real. Losing half your shit is a dangerous risk. Yeah, man, I'm cool on all that, man. And I be tripping off a lot of people who be getting married in today's times because it don't even be genuine, man. You know, I heard somebody say a while back that nowadays chicks don't want to be a wife, they just want to have a wedding. And I agree with that in a lot of cases. Damn, see now this motherfucker tripping again. Come on, man. What is up with my camera? I don't know. I think y'all could. Yeah, see this shit tripping. Why I keep doing that? I don't know. Kevin Power says, I just got in here. Update us what you may have talked about. Johnny Dollar, Passport P. Yeah, and this is my first time going live since P passed away, man. But rest in peace, Johnny Dollar, man. Uh, I didn't really know Johnny Dollar like that, but I remember one time me and Sinful had ran into him. We was in Minnesota, and it was this tour bus, and it was a bunch of white bitches on that motherfucker. And me and Sinful, I can't remember if we went on the bus, but we was by the bus and we was talking to some bitches that was on that joint. But Johnny Dollar was on the bus. I can't remember. It might have been his bus, but we didn't even know who he was, and he didn't know who we was. We just so happened to run into each other. But I could tell, he had something about him, as far as this game. You know what I mean? But I damn near want to say that was his bus that them bitches was on. You know what I mean? But he had something to do with it. If it wasn't his bus, he was like, he had something going on with it. But yeah, this was in downtown Minneapolis. That's when I first, because I didn't even know who he was back then. This is like years and years ago. Uh, but yeah, that was when I first had came across him, and then years later I started seeing him on the internet and shit like that, and doing interviews and things of that nature, and seeing videos of him at players balls and shit like that. Yeah, so I come to find out that he was a well known, well respected, and well loved individual in the game. I figured that out before he passed away. But like I said, when I first had crossed paths with him, me and Sinful crossed paths with him in Minneapolis. We didn't know who he was, but we could tell that he had something about him. But yeah, rest in peace, Johnny Dollar, man. J Hud 72, what's up with it, man? R.I.P. Kenny Red. Yes, indeed. Money Soda. Yes, indeed, man. We was out there. Mr. Reese says, yes, you can. Cooked red snapper different ways. I'm Jamaican. Steam my snapper with onions, peppers, tomatoes, and carrots. I grill it on the Foreman as well. Yeah, I was on that Foreman. I ain't used the Foreman grill in forever, but it was a point in time where I used to use that joint heavy. But far as the passport activity, Kevin and Powers, yeah, you know, like I was telling everybody, say it again. It's my first time putting on a suit this year. Yesterday was my first time driving a car this year, and first time touching some American money this year. So traveling has been quite the experience for me. Quite the different experience, you know. Because like I said earlier, man, I love driving. I love being on the highway. I love just being behind the wheel, cruising, cross country road trips, all that. I just love driving. You know what I mean? If I wasn't in the game, I probably could have been a professional driver or something. I don't know about being no damn truck driver because it's just too much sitting involved for me. That's the one thing. And I got loved ones that drive trucks, man. That's one thing that concerns me all the time about everybody I got love for to drive trucks because it's so sedentary, man. And that shit ain't good for you. That shit ain't good for you at all. But aside from that though, like in some capacity I could have been a professional driver for sure. but but yeah, it was a trip going that long without driving. Kevin Power says I've been to Medellin February 2020. Oh, you was out there right when the pandemic hit then. I don't know if it hit out there during that time, but I know I was in Miami February 2020 when the pandemic hit. And then they shut everything down. What was that? March? I think it was like the middle of March when they shut everything down. It was like March 15th or some shit like that. They started shutting everything down, but that's when that COVID shit started getting out of control, February 2020. Kobe died right before that shit too, man. January of 2020, man. Rest in peace to Kobe and Gigi, man. Boy, that was a crazy day, man. That was, ooh, man, that shit made me sick to my stomach hearing about Kobe, man. That's, oh my goodness, just the thought of that shit even right now. God damn. All them people on that plane, man. I mean, that helicopter, man. Boy, that shit was sickening. Rest in peace to all of them. Oh, Kevin Powers, I went over there. Sweet Georgia Cafe in Laurellis. It's a trip. I had got an Airbnb in Belen, and this is before I even knew about Sweet Georgia's Cafe. Uh, but the Airbnb that I got in Belen was like less than a 5-minute walk away from Sweet Georgia Cafe and Lorella's. Because where I stayed in Belen is like borderline Lorella's and Belen. But I stayed on the Belen side. But I was like not even a 5. It was like a 3-4 minute walk to that Sweet Georgia Cafe. So I went over there and had that shit, and it was surprisingly good. I'm like, damn, they actually got some good soul food in Colombia. Ain't that some shit? Some good ass soul food. They yams was good. They greens was fire. I was surprised. I'm like, damn, they yams and they greens is good. And I think I had some grilled chicken. Let me see. I think I got pictures of that shit. Did I take pictures of that shit? I can't remember. I think I took pictures. Let me see. Sweet Georgia Cafe. Trying to remember. When was I in Bel? I was in Belen in November, I think. Let me see. Sweet Georgia Cafe. Wait. No, I had to take some pictures or videos or something. Damn, I ain't take no pictures or videos. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. But the food was good though. I was surprised. You know, I didn't expect it to be horrible, but I was surprised by how good it was though. Jody Killer say, Freeze, you back in America? Yeah, man. You know, I ain't too thrilled about it neither. I got to see my kids the other day, and I'm gonna go pull up on my moms and pull up on my pops, and hopefully I get to see some nieces and nephew and all that while I'm out here. But yeah. Steve say, Freeze the one, RIP Philip Gilmore. Keep preaching this game, family. Appreciate you, man, for sure, for sure. Oh, so Kevin Powers, the guy you talking about, Rob Lester, I guess that must be the gentleman who opened Sweet Georgia Cafe. From what I heard, I guess he live in Brazil now. I heard that's the word buzzing around out there, is that he ended up moving. I never met him. You know, I've been to Sweet Georgia Cafe, but I never met the dude Rob who you talking about. But I heard that he moved to Brazil. Oh, you went to Long Beach State 2002? Huh. 2002, I was in Concrete University, man, in the streets getting it in, man. Yeah, 2002, man. Shit, I was in the streets heavy. You dig? All around that Long Beach, man. It's my stomping grounds. It's my city. Damn, J Hud, that sound familiar. Freeze, you remember Nell and Bees on Long Beach Boulevard? Soul Food is closed now. Where on Long Beach Boulevard? Where though? That shit sound familiar. Nell and Bees, Nell and Bees. That shit sound hella familiar. Okay, Kevin Powers. I met you in Waikiki around 2008. Freeze, Cahillo, Mad Dog. Man, you say Mad Dogs because you know I ain't been out there. Last time I was in Hawaii was 2012, but I heard all that shit. Mad Dogs, all that shit gone. The Denny's. I think the Denny's was gone last time I was out there. Denny's been gone for a long time though. The Denny's that used to be right by Mad Dogs, that shit gone. I heard Mad Dogs is gone. The Play Bar is gone. All the shit that was there when I was there, that shit is all gone. Only thing probably still there is the ABC store. That's one thing Hawaii gonna have for sure is a bunch of ABC stores, man. They got ABC stores like Thailand got 7-Eleven. Thailand got so many 7-Elevens, it's ridiculous. Freeze, that was years ago. Yeah, it sounds familiar, man, but I'm trying to think of where on Long Beach Boulevard it was at. What you really know about that LBC, man? Shit. That's my city. Shit, I know a whole lot about that LBC. Man. It's so different now, though, man. I remember back in the days, man, when I was a kid, man, it was fun in Long Beach, man, especially in high school. That's back when the Long Beach Plaza was still there. What you know about the Long Beach Plaza downtown, man? Shit. Or some people call it the Long Beach Mall, but it was Long Beach Plaza downtown. You know what I mean? They used to have an arcade in that motherfucker. Me and my brother and cousins and shit, we used to go to the arcade and play there, catch the bus over there. I remember motherfucking High Tops. They had the restaurant High Tops way over there on Carson by the 605. We used to go over there High Tops and party. You know what I mean? We used to have a lot of shit to do, man, when I was a kid. It used to be a lot of 21 and under clubs. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. I ain't heard of that since back in the day, but back when I was coming up, we had 21 and under clubs where to get in, you had to be under 21. You know what I mean? High schoolers, you know, we like the Boogie. Oh, man, the Boogie used to be the Boogie in Anaheim. Oh, man. The Boogie used to be the shit, boy. Man, so let's see. 18 and under clubs that used to be the shit. The Boogie in Anaheim was dope. I want to say the Arena. Was the Arena? I think the Arena in Florentine Gardens, if I ain't mistaken, I think those was 21 and under too. I want to say they was. I think they was. The Arena in Florentine Gardens in Hollywood. I think them clubs was 21 and under back in the day. But the Boogie though, the Arena was the shit too. The Arena was popping. Florentine Gardens was the shit. Motherfucking the Boogie. Man, see, back in them days, man, we used to strike out. We used to get in the whip and just be on a mission. We used to go way to San Bernardino. Back then in San Bernardino, they had a joint called Gotham. They had a 21 and under spot in San Bernardino called Gotham back then. It's like early 2000s. Might even be 90, 98, 99, some shit like that. This is when I was in high school, though. That shit used to be the shit back then, man. Damn, Sepulveda the Prince, he said Club Northern Lights in Long Beach. Man. Hey, I ain't heard that. I ain't heard Northern Lights in forever. Sepulveda the Prince, you just took it back. He said Northern Lights. Damn. That was on the north side. Northern Lights, man. That was just, man. You took it back with that shit. Kevin Power say Florentine Gardens was my jam. Yeah, Florentine Gardens was the shit. The Arena was the shit too. Oh, you was a bouncer at the Boogie? That's what's up. The Boogie was the shit. Yeah, it was off of Catella. The Boogie used to go off Catella. Yeah, it was on Catella and what's that? Anaheim? Is that Anaheim Boulevard? Catella and Anaheim? Pretty much could tell her in the 5. Right over there by the 5. That used to be the shit, man. Bo Onion, good looking with the $5 holler. Did you ever know Herschel Dennis or Mercedes Lewis from Long Beach? Who was I talking to? I was talking to the homie. He from LA and shit. Not too long ago. He was like closer than that. He was a little bit younger than them. But no, I didn't know them. They younger than me. Herschel Dennis and Mercedes Lewis, they're a little bit younger than me. Like, I want to say they like class 2002, 2003. And of course they went to Poly, but of course back when they was doing their thing, I knew who they was, but they was younger than me, so we wasn't in the same mix. Plus they went to Poly, I went to Lakewood, so we wasn't in the same circles or no shit like that. Now I was class of 2000, right? So, I played freshman football, but I was really more into track. Track was my thing, right? And when I was running track, the dudes that was the shit. And between not just Long Beach, but just like LA County period, was when it came to track, the dudes was Justin Fargas, which for those of y'all who don't know who Justin Fargas is Antonio Fargas' son, which Antonio Fargas was Huggy Bear. So his son, Justin Fargas, he was a beast in track, but he was a beast in football. Justin Fargas, if I'm not mistaken, Justin Fargas had the record for most yards in a season in CIF. If I'm not mistaken, I think he rushed for 3,000 yards or some. It might not be 3,000. It was something stupid. Let me look that shit up. Let me ask Gemini. Let's ask Gemini. Hold on. How many yards did Justin Fargas rush for when he played high school football? And did he ever have the record for most yards rushed for in a season in California? Oh, why it ain't playing? Oh shit. Between not just Long Beach. Why the shit? Well, it ain't playing it, but okay. During his high school career at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks, California, 1995 to 1997, Justin Fargas rushed for, during high school career, he rushed for 6,357 yards and 82 touchdowns on 668 carries, a 9.5 yard per carry average. That's crazy. Oh, he did. Well, not exactly. He was just a few yards shy of 3,000. I knew I wasn't tripping. So his sophomore year, he rushed for 569 yards. That wasn't really. Oh no, that's at USC. Oh, this is at. No wait, why is it saying US? Oh, I guess that's who got the statistics. USC Athletics. Okay, so his sophomore year, 569 yards. His junior year, he rushed for 2,970 yards. That's ridiculous. You got to keep in mind that back then, I don't know what it is now, but back then, the football season was 10 games in high school. Pretty sure it was 10 games back then. Yeah, 10 games. So 10 games, 2,970 yards is stupid. And then his senior year, he rushed for 2,818 yards. That's stupid. That don't make no damn sense. I'm telling you, Justin Fargas, When I was in high school, he was that dude. Justin Fargas was that dude. And then besides him, uh, Kareem Kelly, he was a beast at football and track. Del Rideau. See, Justin Fargas went to Notre Dame, like that shit said, Notre Dame in Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Kareem Kelly went to Poly. He was a beast in football and track. Daryl Rideau went to Poly. He was a beast in football and track. Sammy Parker went to Poly. He was a beast in football and track. Yeah, them dudes. But when I was in high school, them dudes is older than me. But they was the ones that was like, their names was ringing bells in sports in California back then. Kenyon Rambo was a beast too. Kenyon Rambo was doing his thing. And Kenyon Rambo, he was a beast in football. Another beast in track was Obi Moore. Obi Moore went to John Muir High School in Pasadena. And Obi Moore was, when it come to track, that 400, that 440, Obi Moore was a beast. Ace Capone say, beast and my son is a junior. Excuse me. Committed to USC, Lil Trey from Frisco. That's what's up, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. Congratulations on that one. You dig? Round of applause for your son, man. That's good shit. Shout out Lil Trey from Frisco. You dig? That's a beautiful thing, man. Bo Onion, good looking with the $2 holla. What about Deshaun Jackson? I think Deshaun Jackson is younger than me too, if I'm mistaken. Didn't Snoop go to Poly? Yeah, Snoop went to Poly. And you know who Snoop went to Poly with? Besides all the rappers and shit, you know who went to Poly with Snoop? Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz went to school with Snoop. They probably wasn't friends or nothing like that, but they went to high school at the same. They went to the same high school at the same time, which is Poly. Yep. Kevin Powers say the Boogie, which also went by the names like the Cowboy Boogie, the Cowboy, the Crescendo. See, I didn't know that. That must have been before my time. I always just knew it as the Boogie, and that's it. Was located on, oh yeah, right, Manchester Avenue, near the intersection of Catella Avenue and the Santa Ana Freeway, the 5, yeah. Yeah, that little, I was trying to remember that little side street over there. That's Manchester, yeah, exactly. Catella and Manchester, yep. That shit was an empty, after the Boogie, that shit been an empty lot for a long time. I don't know if they put something else there since then. I ain't been over there in a long time, but that shit was an empty lot for a long time after the Boogie shut down. Boogie used to be the shit though, man. Man, I miss them days, man. That's some good times, man. Good memories of my youth. 17, 18 years old, man. Polly used to be a beast back in the day. Polly's still a beast, man, as far as I know. Polly always been a beast. And see, I should have went to Polly. Only reason, and it's funny because the only reason why I went to Lakewood is because my brother was already going to Lakewood. But when I went to school, we didn't even hang out. We didn't do nothing at school together. That's the only reason why I went to. That's the only reason why I went to Lakewood is because my brother was already going there. But we never even hung out. That's the funny thing about it, you know. But I don't regret going to Lakewood though because I met some real good people that I got real tight with, man. My best friends and shit like that, man. You know, uh, ain't no telling how my life would have turned out if I ended up going to Poly. So I don't regret going to Lakewood at all. But uh, yeah, that's the only reason why I went there because my brother was already going there. The child said, "Good looking with the $5 holler." Damn. Does the ism change the way you date? Did you spit game at the Colombians? Okay, so the first part of your question, does the ism change the way you date? The ism don't date. I mean, I don't date. I don't. Yeah, I don't do dates. But did I spit game at the Colombians? Not really because my Spanish ain't really up to par. And be honest with you, my Spanish ain't horrible. I just got to build my confidence up when it comes to speaking Spanish, you know, because a lot of times I be second guessing myself, even though I know how to respond to certain shit. But a lot of times I underestimate myself and I kind of second guess myself when it comes to speaking Spanish. So again, it's not that my Spanish is just horrible. It's just I got to build my confidence up when it comes to speaking Spanish uh, to get more fluent, you know, and fluid, have more fluid conversation. Uh, but once I get to that point, hell yeah, I'm gonna be spitting hella game at them for sure. Kev Power said Lakewood Mall, Delamo. Yeah, Lakewood Mall is my shit. You know what I mean? Because I went to Lakewood Highs, and we used to catch the bus to 101, take you right there from the school to the mall. So yeah, or sometimes we used to walk from Lakewood High to the Lakewood Mall. Most of the time we catch the bus, but sometimes we'll walk. But yeah, man, that was the good old days. Duolingo will get you right, Pim. You ain't never lied. I've been on my Duolingo shit for sure. I stay fucking with Duolingo. Right, and my brother is over there. Dig that. Born Supreme, what's up with it, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, but I ain't been live in a minute neither though. Greetings, Freeze and Freeze. Good to see you live and direct, fam. Yes, indeed. Had to give y'all a little dose this morning, man. I came in, I was tired as a motherfucker, but I'm like, man, I ain't gave him a dose of this shit like this in a minute, man. While I'm suited and booted, man, I gotta give y'all a good dose of this shit. So that's why I just hopped on the live, man. I didn't even schedule this shit. I just said fuck it and jumped on. Yeah. Old Town Delamo Mall had the carousel in it. Yeah, hey man, hey, the Delamo Mall used to be the shit, man. I used to like going to the Delamo Mall back in the day. It looked totally different now. It don't even look like the same mall no more. It looked nice though, like the way they didn't did the mall. The Delamo Mall is nice now, but yeah, that mall used to be the shit. It's huge too. The Delamo Mall. It's a big ass mall. What was aftermath in Colombia while you were there? Excuse my pimping. You talking about the aftermath of the earthquake, Lojo? Cause I definitely was there when the earthquake hit, but it wasn't no damage where I was. The damage was really like a few hours away. They got hit hard. It was fucked up over there. Oh, I'm tripping. I done already shouted that super chat out, but good looking on everybody with the super chats in the jewels. You dig? Oh yeah, you talking about the earthquake? Yeah, like I said, where I was at, I definitely felt it for sure. For sure, it was. I never forget. It was at 7:34 in the morning. I was sitting on the couch on the laptop in my drawers, fucking around on the laptop. All of a sudden, I start feeling the couch shaking, couch moving. I'm like, am I tripping? Or is this couch moving for real? So then I had a bottle of water sitting on the table across from me, like it's a table across from me like that. And I seen the bottle of water doing this. Not like shaking how it is in my hand, but not the bottle itself, but the water inside the bottle. I seen that shit doing this. So I'm like, damn. Then I stood up and I felt the ground shaking. And I was on the second floor of the building that I was staying in. So when I stood up and felt the ground shaking, that shit was shaking like a motherfucker. So I hurried up and threw some sweats in the t-shirt or tank top on. And I was getting ready to run outside. Then the shaking stopped. And so I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, damn, that's kind of crazy. That was like kind of strong earthquake. But I didn't think no damage was done, which it wasn't where I was at. Excuse my pimping. But so, like I said, when it happened, I didn't really think much of it, right? But then a bunch of people started hitting me up from out here, from the states, checking on me like, "Damn, Freeze, I heard it was an earthquake out there in Colombia. You cool? You straight?" So after so many people was hitting me up, I'm like, "Damn." I mean, it was an earthquake, but it wasn't like nothing crazy. Like how everybody in the U.S. know about an earthquake down here. So then that's when I started looking at the news, and I seen all the damage and shit, and all the people that died, and it was fucked up. It was fucked up for real. But like I said, fortunately for me, it didn't hit too hard where I was at. Tell Gemini to translate for you next time you in Colombia, Freeze. Uh, that's one thing I kind of was like being intentional about is not using the translator app so much. Cause now I'm to like my Spanish is good enough to like this, right? Like I could be having a conversation with somebody, and if they say a word I'm not familiar with, my Spanish is good enough to like say, I don't know what skillet mean. And I'm having a conversation in Spanish with somebody and they say the word skillet. My Spanish is good enough to be like, what's a skillet or what does skillet mean? Skillet, what is that? My Spanish is good enough to do that. You know what I mean? So if you could do that, you don't really need the translator app, and then they explain to you what a skillet is. Or a skillet, you do this, that would this what a skillet is. Oh, okay, cool, got it. Now I done learned a new word without having to open the translator app and use that motherfucker. I just ask whoever I'm talking to what that means. They tell me. Now I got some new vocabulary, you know, under my belt. So that's what I've been doing more recently. In the beginning, yeah, I was using the translator app like a motherfucker because my Spanish wasn't that good, you know. But now I'm to the point where I can have a conversation, and if in the midst of the conversation they say a word I'm not familiar with, I'm good enough to say in Spanish, like, what is that? What does that mean? What is that word? You know, I'm good enough in Spanish to say that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I do my best not to use that translator app because, you know, I don't want no crutch. I wanna be, you know, independent of that. I don't want to have to depend on the translator app. So pimping is grooming and abuse. Get a job. Hey man, I'm pretty sure that pimping is no worse than whatever things that you do in your life. See, American society taught you that pimping was a horrible thing. But what American society ain't gonna teach you is that human beings are a horrible thing, or can be a horrible thing. You know, and just like human beings can be a horrible thing, human beings can be a beautiful thing. So guess what? Pimping could be a beautiful thing too, because human beings commit the act of pimping. You know, but y'all let people puppeteer your minds to believe whatever they want you to believe. You know, and just like all husbands ain't bad, just like all firefighters ain't bad, just like all any kind of people ain't bad, all pimps ain't bad neither. You got good, bad, and ugly with everything in life. Pimps are no different. You got good preachers, you got bad preachers. You got good pimps, you got bad pimps. It's all the same. So now, Hatbox Shorty, get your panties out of bunch, let your nuts hang, and stop pointing the finger at the pimping, man. You know, if somebody pimped on somebody that you love, man, maybe even me, if I pimped on somebody that you love, man, hey, don't count it against me, man. We just living life. Don't be mad at me that whoever it is that you love chose me, man. Or if they chose a different pimp, don't be mad at them for choosing some pimping, man. Hey, it is what it is. You know, you got you got certain pimps. See, listen, man. Let me just break some shit down for some of you squares, man, who just, you know, not the squares in the building. I know most of the squares in here, you know, got respect and love for the game, man. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all. But for the squares that's in here listening, man, they got a hatred, a bitter taste in their mouth for this game, man. Let me tell you something, man. Hey, listen, man. Hey, this pimping could be beautiful to certain individuals, man. Pimping done save bitches from drugs. You know, pimps done got bitches off drugs, or save bitches from being exposed to drugs. Uh, some bitches, if they didn't choose a pimp, they'll have 5 kids by 5 different baby daddies by now. But because they chose a pimp, you know, they more responsible. Hey man, uh, you know, pimps make bitches go to school and you know, get their education if they don't have it. If they don't have, they, you know, man, pimping do so much, man. And then, you know, on the same token, you got boyfriends that are abusive and shit like that. Just like you got boyfriends that do some of them things that I just mentioned that the pimping do. You got boyfriends that you know is way more terrible, you know. But while you sitting up there talking about pimping is grooming and abuse and get a job and all that shit, I guarantee you that you ain't got nearly a fraction of the discipline that I got. You probably eat way horrible than me. You probably addicted to alcohol or cigarettes or a vape or some stupid ass shit like that. Shit I ain't never done in my life. Or when it come to alcohol, ain't done in over a decade. You know what I mean? Like, you can learn a lot from this pimping, man. You tuned in for a reason. You might as well soak up some of this damn game and get inspired. You know, when people like Mr. Reed get a testimony, see, it's good energy up in here, man. You know, don't just condemn this game just because of what the news done told you, or what some punk motherfucker done told you about this game. Hey, don't condemn this shit, man. You might get inspired in some type of way to be great. You know, this shit beautiful, man. You know, like I said, man, I'm a pimp, but I don't smoke nothing. I don't drink alcohol. Shit, I don't drink soda. I don't drink juice. Man, shit, I don't eat fried food. I don't eat heavy carbs, no rice, no potatoes, no bread, you know. See, that's when I'll hear the type of when a motherfucker talks shit to me, I could better hear what they saying if they got as much or more discipline than I do. You know, I don't want to hear that shit if you a fat sloppy motherfucker that can't just mastered by food. You know, food is your master. You a slave to food, or you a slave to alcohol, or you a slave to candy and soda. You know, you a slave to ice cream and chips and cheese and all that type of shit. You a slave to fried chicken and shit. I don't want to hear nothing from you, because I ain't a slave to none of that shit. I'm the master of my motherfucking self. When you be the master of yourself, then I might sit back and listen to what you got to say. But until you the master of yourself, man, while you over here enslaved to a bunch of bullshit, man, leave this pimping alone, man. Keep the pimping out your mouth. You know what I mean? Motherfucker over there slave to a bunch of bullshit, want to try to talk down on this pimping and cast judgment on this pimping, man, when you can't even hold a candle to this motherfucking game. Man. If you don't sit your ass back and soak this shit up and knock it off. You ain't got to time him out, Sepulveda Prince. You know, I like sometimes for these lanes to be exposed. You know, because it give us an opportunity to put this game on display. Proper say freeze. Are you going to get the 100K plaque for Sinful? You probably didn't see the last live when I was at the airport talking about it, man. But YouTube ain't trying to let Sinful's channel be great in that regard, man. I endeavored to get Sinful's 100K plaque, but they told me that his channel is ineligible currently because of community guidelines with certain content. So really what it is, man, because Sinful got a whole bunch of shit on his channel where he just talking freely and, he ain't mindful about titles and thumbnails and language and all that type of shit. So with all of that being the case, as it is right now, YouTube is saying that his channel is ineligible to get the plaque. And what I would like to think will happen eventually is that by me continuing to put content out the way I have been, where it is cleaned up, certain words is edited out, and it ain't no titles and thumbnails that go against the community guidelines. Hopefully me continuing to build that rapport on his channel will at some point make his channel eligible for that plaque. But I'm doing what I can to see if I can get to that point to be able to get that motherfucker, because it's cool knowing that bro done made it to 100,000 subscribers, but it'll just be so much cooler to just see that plaque with his name on that motherfucker. So we're gonna see. And I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back and delete any videos don't meet the standards of the God, because that's one of the things that makes Sinful's channel so beautiful right now is the fact that you know so many of y'all that was subscribed to Sin when he was still here. You can go back and look at the chats where you was in the chat with him and all that type of shit, or y'all was all in the chat together. His whole YouTube family. I don't want to take that away. I even like going back and seeing myself in the chat sometimes. And bro acknowledging me in the chat, or acknowledging a lot of y'all in the chat. Acknowledging Robin and Denise and Helena and Paulina and Sepova the Prince and Extended Clips and Sucker just acknowledging everybody, you know what I mean? Like the whole family, man. Like yeah, I don't want to take that away, even if it means that bro can't get the plaque. I don't want to take that away, so. But like I said, hopefully this new track record of clean content on bro's channel will make him eligible. Hopefully that's what happens. Yeah, like the plaque, I'd rather have that than that plaque. The plaque would be cool to have, but rather than having that plaque, I'd rather basically everything that Sinful did on his channel, I'm leaving it the way he left it. I don't want to change nothing that he did. Now moving forward, the new content that I'm putting out now, which is basically repurposing his stuff that he did, that I can put out in a cleaner way and shit like that. But anything that he did on his channel, I don't want to fuck with that. And I'm not going to. So to me, that's more important than a plaque. So them chats and seeing people just shit like seeing people laugh when he say certain funny shit, seeing all the laughing emojis in the chat, just stuff like that. I can't take that away. I appreciate that too much. You know what I mean? And just knowing him, I know he wouldn't want to take that shit away for no plaque neither. So yeah, that shit, cause I listen to bro all day every day, and when I be listening to him, like seeing the chat like this, and seeing them laughing emojis popping up and all and the little hearts flying and shit like that. Yeah, I ain't taking that shit away. So exposing the truth, say, I remember Edward Shitty Ends tried to roast Freeze on IG. That was the funniest shit ever was Sin got to roasted dude. Hey, that shit is classic, man. That Edward Boo Boo Hands, that's hey, it's funny, right? Because in the moment I was so angry that I didn't understand how funny that shit was. I was so mad in the moment, man. I didn't know how funny that shit was, man. But when I went back and watched that shit later on, when that nigga, he answered the thing because I called him on Instagram because he was talking shit in the chat. So I called him on IG Live. This dumb motherfucker answer, and he tried to sound real player about it. He was like, hold on, P, man. You done caught me on the toilet, man. Hold on, man. I'm sitting here taking a shit. You dig? He really tried to pop it. See, that's the problem with niggas, man. Niggas try to make everything sound player, everything sound smooth and fly and cool. He tried to make him being on the toilet, and I probably had like 200 or 300 people watching the live, some shit like that, man. And your ass is on the toilet saying on the live to these hundreds of people like, Hold on, P. Yeah, man, you done caught me on the toilet, man. I'm sitting right here taking a shit, man. You dig, man? Hold on 1 second, P. So when he said that, I said, stupid motherfucker. This fool said, who you calling stupid though? The way he said that shit had me dying. Like I said, real time, but nothing funny. I was so angry. But when I went back and watched that shit and I heard that nigga say, who you calling stupid though? Then this fool raises up off the toilet, walks out the bathroom, didn't flush the toilet, didn't wash his hands, just touching all on his phone. And see, that's just so nasty. Because, you know, just us as people at some point in time, we're gonna probably touch our face, or, you know, he touching on his phone. You finna go touch door handles and all types of shit, and you you got these shitty ass hands that you just refuse to wash, and you didn't even flush the toilet. You just nasty. You using the public toilet. You didn't flush that shit, which means if somebody come behind you having to use this toilet, man, they got to deal with your nasty ass leftovers up in there, and then, you know, you didn't wash your hands, and you just about to be. You probably shook people's hands that day after you did that shit, man. Just you just a nasty bastard, man. But hey, you know what though? And I said it, you know, cause I kind of went a little, I went a little hard on Edward Boo Boo Hands that day, man. That's what I kind of regret, man. I was just so angry, man. But I shouldn't have went that hard on Edward Boo Boo Hands, because I was angry. I was talking hella shit. I was talking big cash shit. And Edward Boo Boo Hands didn't deserve that, man. He just kind of like, caught the backlash of the wrath, man. That really was meant for other people. But Edward Boo Boo Hands, he didn't deserve for me to flash on him the way that I did, even though he definitely deserved to be roasted about not washing his motherfucking hands and not flushing the toilet. He need to be chopped up about that for sure. But I kind of went a little extra hard on him, man, because I was so mad. But Edward Boo Boo Hands, boy, that's a nasty dude, man. Like, that's somebody I would never go over his house. If we was cool and I seen some shit like that, bro, I'm never coming to your house again after that. Can you just imagine how nasty his house is? I'm not going over your house. You getting off of public toilets, not flushing them joints, and then you not washing your hands neither. You can never get me to come to your house. And especially not eat. What, nigga, you cooking dinner? What? I'm not. Hell no. I'm not gonna be there. You cooking dinner with these boo boo ass hands? Hell no. Man. Ain't finna get me sick. Shit. Man. Funny as hell. Hell nah, I'll never go over his house. That's never happening. Hey, exposing the truth. All you gotta do is type in Edward Boo Boo Hands. That shit gonna pop right up. You gonna see the whole video, man. Just put in Edward Boo Boo. Put in Edward Boo Boo Hands. That shit gonna pop right up, man. Funny as hell. Classic. Hey, if y'all ain't and then Sin roast the shit out of me about my t-shirt and everything. The t-shirt that I was wearing during this whole shit. If you ain't seen that video, man, go back and watch Edward Boo Boo Hands on Sinful's channel. All you gotta do is put in Edward Boo Boo Hands, and you gonna see Sinful roasting the shit out of me, roasting the shit out of Edward Boo Boo Hands. Funny as hell. Straight classic. Your pink shirt with the teddy bear. Simple was on that. Yeah, bro wasn't feeling my shirt, man. Bro wasn't trying to let me be great with my pink shirt with the teddy bear on it, man. Bro, he wasn't trying to let me be great. Simple wasn't trying to let me be great, man. For real though. Lojo say, do you have the video where Sin reviewed the Spirit employee tackling the woman? Hey, I just seen that video the other day. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that on Patreon too, Lojo. I got that video for sure. I just seen it the other day. So yeah, I'll post that one for sure. Because that shit was funny too. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this joint on. Damn, we've been live for 3 hours. Damn, time be flying. It don't even seem like we've been live for 3 hours. That's crazy. But I got shit I gotta do today, man. And I'm gonna try to take me a little nap. Cause like I said, I've been up like crazy. And yeah, man, if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain, please do so before you go on the way out. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up, man. As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. You dig? I appreciate you liking this video. I appreciate you sharing this video. I appreciate all the comments, questions, input, jokes, feedback. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, the cash apps, the PayPals. Well, I ain't got Cash App no more. Yeah, man, my Cash App is gone. So, y'all can't Cash App me no more, man. I appreciate everybody who ever did Cash App me, but at this juncture, man, Cash App ain't fucking with me no more, man. They done blocked me for good. That's a whole nother story, though. By no doing of my own. I'm guilty by association, but like I said, I'll get into that another day. But the super chats and the PayPals, I appreciate that. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.